guys ready over there? We're good. Okay, all right. I would like to call the meeting of the Human Services Committee to order. Karen, please call the roll.
Chair Swarzy,
Here.
Member Childress.
Yes.
Member Garcia. Member Desart.
Here.
Member Galassi.
Here.
Member LaPlante.
Here.
Okay, a physical quorum of the members is physically present. I will entertain a motion to permit those members not physically present due to personal illness, disability, employment purposes, or for the business of the board or family or other emergency to participate by video or teleconference. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Carrie. You're
Thank you.
officially part of the agenda here now, so. With regards to some comments I'd like to make, I just really want to thank Community Services and Adult Services, Natasha, for your participation in the senior fair on Friday. That was great turnout, and of course, all of Community Services crews that were there were great. So thank you. Any comments from the members at this time? Okay, seeing none. I'll take a motion to approve the minutes, item 24-18-17, Human Services Committee regular meeting, Tuesday, June 4th, 2024.
Second.
So moved.
Thank you. And a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. I'll take a motion to approve item FIR 010124, acceptance and appropriation of the Illinois Home Weatherization Assistance Program, HHS grant, program year 25 intergovernmental agreement number 2422-1028 in the amount of $967,886.
So moved.
I have a motion. Any second? Any discussion on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. I'm going to skip back to public comment. I forgot public comment. Do we have any public comment?
No public comment.
Okay, thank you. All right, on to item 6B, I'll take a motion to approve item FIR 010224, acceptance and appropriation of the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LIHEAP, state grant for program year 25 in the amount of $3,681,051.
So moved.
Grant $681,051.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Please note that member Garcia has arrived at 9:30. Take a motion to approve item FIR 010324, acceptance of an extension of time and modification of funding allocation for the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, HHS Supplemental Grant Program Year 23, Intergovernmental Agreement number 23.74028.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Take a motion to approve FIR 010424, acceptance of an extension of time for the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, HHS grant, program year 23.
So moved. Second.
Okay, any discussion on this one? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Take a motion to approve item HSR 1524, approval of issuance of payments by DuPage County to energy assistance providers through the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, state grant, program year 25 intergovernmental agreement in the amount of $3,092,083. Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Take a motion to approve item HSP 2224, recommendation for the approval of a contract issued to Benovate Inc. doing business as Neighborly Software for the purchase of a grants management software system for community development for the period of July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025 for a contract total of $45,000.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Take a motion to approve item 24-18-18, recommendation for approval of a second modification, second time extension of a community development block grant agreement between DuPage County and the Carroll Stream Park District, extending the project completion date through September 1st, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Yes.
Yeah, I just wondered if somebody could talk about the second time extension and why it's being extended a second time.
Yeah, I can. So this is a very large park improvement project in Carroll Stream. It's over $2 million. We are providing $1 million of funding. They had some weather delays, so there's specific temperatures that are required for asphalt. So the parking lot was kind of delayed for a period of time. Now they're working through those final punch list items, and then documentation is required for our grant. So that's why.
And when were they supposed to be done? When was the
July.
first?
July 1st.
They were supposed to be done in July
That
and
was the
then,
first exciting.
okay, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you, Julie. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Take a motion to approve item HSP 2324, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order issued to the standard companies for trash can liners for the DuPage Care Center for the period July 14th, 24 through July 13th of 25 for an amount not to exceed $75,000.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Take a motion to approve HSP 2424, a recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Equipment International LTD for aseptic barrier washer extractors for the DuPage Care Center for the period June 26th of 24 through November 30th of 24 for an amount not to exceed $260,090.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Take a motion to approve item 241819, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Arium Inc. for supplies for the Fast Pack Elite Medication Dispensing Machine for the DuPage Care Center Pharmacy for the period August 16th, 24 through August 15th of 25 for a contract total not to exceed $26,000.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on this? We'll do a roll call on this, please.
Member Garcia.
Aye.
Member Desart.
Aye.
Member Galassi.
Member LaPlante?
She says aye. Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you. And Member Childress.
Yes.
Okay, and Chair Swarzy.
Aye. Thank you. The budget transfers, I'll take a motion to approve item 241820, transfer of funds from the housing assistance account for a total amount of about $4,000 to the regular salaries account in the amount of $2,439 to the employee share IMRF account in the amount of $523 and to the employer share social security account in the amount of $401 and to the employee medical and hospital insurance account in the amount of $637 to cover additional costs of salaries and wages based on actual hours worked under the Illinois Association of Community Action Agencies grant.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Take a motion to approve 241821, a transfer of funds from the advertising account and the software and maintenance account in the amount of $14,921 to the regular salaries account in the amount of $11,723 to the employer share IMRF account in the amount of $964 to the employer share social security account in the amount of $873 to the employee medical and hospital insurance account in the amount of $1,361 to cover the partial payroll of an employee and close out 211 Illinois program grant.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And I will take a motion to approve 241822, a transfer of funds from the building improvements account in the amount of $260,090 to the equipment and machinery account to allow for purchasing barrier washers for the laundry per bid number 2467 FM, moving monies into the correct budget line.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. And I'll take a motion to receive and place on file item 241823, GPN 2424 DCEO Equipment Replacement Grant, the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, amount of $200,000.
So moved.
First.
Yeah.
Second?
Yeah. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. I don't believe we have any residency waivers, so we'll go to the DuPage Care Center update. Janelle, welcome back. Yeah, good to see you.
I'm here. I have two things. One, we had some pretty significant project that was completed this week with the air handler units that serve the whole north building. One serves the resident rooms and one serves the common areas. I had the opportunity to go see these. I don't even know what I'd call them. They're larger than a bus. and you literally can see all these different doors, and one of them, there's a blue light, and that's where the air transferring through that unit to cool gets treated with an antimicrobial light system. So it's incredibly impressive. We'll probably be doing more staff tours because there was a period of time where it was quite warm with the warmer temperatures. We opted to go now instead of waiting till October. We're glad we did because this heat's going to continue. It was a little bit of a challenge there for a few days, but the project is huge. I encourage if you come over, ask to see it. It's really, really remarkable. And today is moving day. So day 2, we've moved half the residents up yesterday. The other half are moving today. So 4 North is up and running. So it's really exciting.
Great.
Any questions for me?
Okay, great. Janelle, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Oh, actually, how are the COVID outbreaks?
There is none.
Yay.
I think we might still technically be under outbreak status, but that's just because of a period of days, but we haven't had any cases.
That's
So,
wonderful.
yeah, we're mask free or masks optional.
Okay,
So, yeah.
thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. And on to our community services update. You have one. Anyone?
Nothing I'm aware of. Sorry, Mary out. She didn't check stuff.
Is Mary,
That's a good thing, right?
Mary, well, she should be back in a few days. She is in Portugal, so she's been there for a couple of weeks. So we miss her and we're looking forward to having her back. Okay, under old business, I'm going to discuss the infrastructure grants, but before I get to that, does anyone else have any other old business? Okay, so this committee sort of unanimously consented to keeping the round 2 infrastructure grants at the $500,000 that we had earmarked for this. So I've been in discussion with both Nick Kopmeyer and Jeff Martinovich. How do you pronounce your last name? Martinovich. Okay, sorry, Jeff. Anyway, so after discussion with them, it sounds like there is going to be money available, either ARPA, leftover ARPA funds that weren't used, and or potentially contingency funds to fund the entire round 2 grants. So that would include
And that's the 551. I just want to make sure we all. know what we're
550.
talking about.
So 551 is part 1 of round 2, so to speak. It's that group of organizations who didn't get any round 1 grants. So we approved $500,000 of that. So as of our last meeting, we were going to try to figure out how to get that 551 down to 500. After discussion with staff, there will be money available either out of ARPA funds or potentially contingency funds to be able to fund the entire $1.2 million that we got for round 2 now, minus the 78,000 or whatever we agreed to for the Hinsdale Community Food Pantry. So with that being said, now that money will be available, but we would still have to bring it to the county board and get approval for that. So that will be, we'll have more information in July, and I will be pursuing that. And I would hope the committee would consider pursuing this, being all unanimous for pursuing this at the county board level. Go ahead.
Does that take money out of food that we were going to buy
No,
food with?
That does not take any of the roughly 600,000 out of the food money that we have left for 2024. Hold on just a second. I have one more caveat. With that being said, it's going to be difficult to get that 551,000 down to 500,000. So I would like this committee to approve taking the extra $51,000 out of the food. So instead of having 600,000 left or so, we'd have around 550,000 left to get these items that that they have not received any infrastructure grant items at all, to get that on the agenda for our next finance county board meeting to vote on, to get that group the stuff that they need. And then we will absolutely revisit this other 600,000 or so, depending on what staff says, you know, with how much ARPA money we have or how much contingency money we have. But that's where I'd like to go. So what I'd be looking for, and I'll promise I'll let you guys speak. But what I'm looking for today is I'm looking for consensus to allow us to spend the extra 51,000. So to put on the next budget, the next finance budget, I'm sorry, the next financial agenda, county board agenda, to spend this 551,000 to get these people their infrastructure stuff. So Sheila, you had your hand up first.
Thank you, Chair. So I just want to clarify, my understanding is this does not come out of contingency funds. It's coming out of like unused travel and some of the other things that we have budgeted that are never going to hit the amount budgeted this year. So.
Let me let Nick speak to that.
So I just want to clarify, so the 500,000 or 551, if that's what the committee wants to move forward, which would be round two, the first group, right?
Right.
That comes out of the food insecurity money that's already been reserved for this purpose. So I think there was maybe 1.2 million
Yeah.
reserved around there. So that is going to come out of that. What we're talking about now is the second part of group two, which is approximately how much, Mary Catherine?
The second part of group two is 650.
Yeah, say 650, 652, which might go down a little bit as Mary Catherine and her team kind of grind through everything. They'll see, let's say 600,000. That would come out of, you know, at a probably July or August, we are expecting Jeff, Mary Catherine, their team is going through all the old ARPA requests and we're pulling back the pennies here and there. We're expecting pretty close to that being available. Our recommendation, if the board agrees, would be to use that freed up ARPA money to fund the second part of round two. Your question going, is this the budget that, you know, all of the travel and everything? No, it's not. Because that, what we're talking about, yes, there is excess out there, but most of that lies with EOs, elected officials. You can't pull that back mid-year. Once you budget that, you can't pull it back. That gets pulled back at the end of the year. So the vast majority of what you're talking about, what you had discussions 2 weeks ago, are in elected officials' budgets. Once you as a board approve that for them, you cannot pull that back mid-year unless if they agree to pulling that back. That's just gonna be a large, you know, back and forth.
What is the second part of round two?
That's my question.
That's the second part of round two are the ones at the
Yeah.
bottom of your list right here. These were never funded in the first round. These were funded in first round and they're requesting more money. We're saying this money, we can potentially make available to the board and this committee. And once we free up other ARPA money.
So all of round two
Yes.
would get funded
we-
from round
yes.
one. Even though we agreed that
We-
round two,
Right.
people who did not get money in round,
And-
people who got money in round one would not get money in round
And
two.
the thought process is you guys are building the infrastructure for food insecurity for the next 10, 15, 20 years by this. So if this is and you still will retain 700,000 for food insecurity that was originally given to you. So this would be outside food insecurity. If not enough ARPA money is available, we will supplement that with contingency within the 2024 budget.
So everybody who got money in round one would now get round two. I just wanna make
Whoever submitted as part of
Yeah.
this would be funded. We're not, I mean, and I'm not saying 100% of them would be funded because they have to qualify. Some of those we have vetted. This first list has been vetted very thoroughly.
Right.
This still needs to be really vetted and gone through by the team. And so it could go down a little bit. It's not gonna go up. That's the maximum that it would be.
And I will supplement Nick's comments. The only reason we did not approve those round two requests by the organizations who had already received funds, was only because we just didn't have the money.
Right.
That was the main reason that let's stick with the ones who didn't receive anything. But again, if you look at it, I mean, this is like Nick said, this is infrastructure that will, you know, provide assistance to the community for decades to come.
I'm not sure.
I'm
my
asking
question
for
was
so many
clarified.
clarifications because I was gonna be a no vote on the HCS vehicle. And that's because it wasn't fair to the other people.
Right.
So that's why I'm clarifying. You know, I had a board member actually say to me that this area, the HCV Family Services area, needs food more than other areas of the county. And I was like, really? Tell that to the People's Resource Center or people at Loaves of Fishes. So I was against. HCS is a wonderful organization. I'm not against the organization. I'm against the unfairness of these other people from round one who've got money in round one being told, sorry, you can't get round two money. Oh, but you can HCS. So that's why I'm asking for clarification, because if everybody in round one who did receive money is now eligible for round two money, I will be supportive of that. So thank you for all the clarification, because that's where I was getting with my votes.
I'm gonna go to Lynn real quick and then I'll come back.
His her question, you didn't get answered.
I did not get clarification because
Oh,
I had a
sorry.
conversation with member Krajewski in the last week talking about those budget overages that we're never going to spend and urging me to go to my communities and rustle.
My
and-
guess is you talked to member Krajewski before he had the discussion with Jeff. We had very much the discussion back and forth. The only budget you as a board really control throughout the year is the departments that report to the county board. The money that you guys were talking, the vast majority, 85% of those things is probably on elected officials. We had that discussion. My guess is you maybe talked to member Krajewski before. Will that money become available at the end of the year with a surplus? Absolutely it will. Absolutely. It's just,
So we can still look to
yeah,
our
yeah, yeah.
districts
And
for.
I will tell you, food insecurity, and I've had discussions with the chair on this one with many of the board members. Food insecurity is a problem that's here to stay.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be a constant need and a constant funding issue that this board's going to face year after year after year. I think everybody realizes that, and that's the new norm with, coming out of, COVID. This is the new norm moving forward. Hopefully something changes for the better, but this is something that we're gonna constantly. So, I know the decision here today is you originally said we're gonna reserve 500,000, you have 551,000. It almost seems like as you're recommending, fund it out of the money that you guys reserved, the 1.2 million. We're going to fund the other ones, and we're gonna be revisiting and you're still gonna have 600,000 for actual food. We'll revisit it as time goes on.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you.
Member LaPlante.
I think my question was basically answered. However, I do want to the last time we talked about this, we did say we were going to do a sort of deeper dive and see if we could.
Lower that
make things- yeah, lower it
557.
And by, through equity, meaning, remember the huge discrepancies between trucks, for example. And so did we
Have
get
we
it?
followed up with that?
That's what the consensus was.
Yeah,
last time.
Mary
Oh,
Catherine.
we did look at it. And I'm gonna put Valerie on the spot. She, actually, it is the result of some of the work that she's done over the last week. We have also reached out to HCS to make sure that they get a better truck, that's gonna work better, in the long run for them, and still, falls within the money that we appropriated them. So I think the rough answer was $10,000 or $15,000. We thought we could
Approximately
save
15,000.
up to 550.
We could maybe chisel down.
Potentially 15,000.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank
So,
you.
For asking that.
But we'll have to reach out and get revised purchase orders and
Right.
now that we have an idea that we're gonna do the whole thing, that's something that we can get a head start on right now with our team to reach out. Now that Valerie has shopped around and got the most competitive pricing.
Yes.
Okay, that makes me feel better, because that was the consensus of this committee, was to absolutely analyze it, and I do feel that that is our job,
Yeah.
right? Fiscal
One thing,
responsibility.
I want to make sure what Mary Catherine said isn't lost on the group.
Okay.
So the vehicle we're talking about, the kind of the one-off that we're buying, we actually, their team contacted them, and they are getting a better vehicle than they originally asked for less money.
Awesome.
That will be more beneficial for them, that has better cooling abilities, just because the work they've done with
Thank you.
vetting out everything. So that's what they're doing. So there's a lot of that. So they're gonna get a better vehicle than they originally anticipated.
We like to hear that. Thank you so much.
And I believe the assumption is, based on our conversation, is this procurement process will continue with all of these organizations, you know.
Reach out to them,
Yeah.
make sure that we have some standardization
Yeah.
and help us to reduce costs.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Val.
Thank you.
Member Garcia, Vice
Yeah,
Chair Garcia.
I'm very much in favor of going up to $551,000, but I'm very concerned that we won't have the $600,000 for food, because, you know, in every meeting that we've sat in, that food is the biggest need out there. So will we be replenishing that to the 550,000?
So that will roughly leave us around 550, but again, as some of these procurements take place and some of this money
Okay.
is narrowed down, I think we'll be closer, like Nick said, I think we will continue to be closer to that 600,000 when it's all said. Now, with that being said, I have asked staff and the chair and the finance chair for $1 million for next year for food. So I you know, it's up to this board in our meetings on, you know, on the second, fourth Tuesday to help fight for that. So just keep that in mind. So,
I will.
thank you, thank you. Member Galassi.
Thank you. Yeah, I just, a few comments. Thank you, Member LaPlante, for asking that, because that was what was running through my head, was just kind of where do we shake out after some of the vetting took place since our last meeting. So I'm really pleased to hear that, you know, that process was taken care of, and it sounds like you found maybe $10,000 or $15,000 worth of savings. And also equally as important, I'm really pleased to hear that the work that you did on that is going to result in a better quality van for HCS. So that's wonderful news. And additionally, I just want to say thank you to the members of the committee that were supportive of the HCS van. And it does sound like a great plan that we can use some of the remaining ARPA funds to fund that additional roughly $600,000 of people who had requested funds from the first round, and so they were ineligible for the second round. So I do support the idea that, like Nick said, that this is a way to ensure that our food pantries are set up for success for this great need, you know, for the next 5 to 10 years. So I just wanted to say thanks for everyone's support and work on this project.
Thank you so much, Member Galassi. Member Desart.
So going back to round one, recipients of dollars, they're now going to be eligible in round two, as you've established. And the budget shortfall for round two, and I know, Mary Catherine, they haven't been totally vetted yet. But according to your memo, it says that we have a budget shortfall for round two then of $710,000. So
And that number has changed a little bit.
what is it, Mary Catherine?
Yeah, well,
She's going off this sheet here, where it
yeah,
says 700.
Yeah, this was sent.
So you can see 1.209 million was requested in round two, which we only earmarked 500,000.
Right.
Now, they narrowed the blue line, 557, they narrowed that down to 551 automatically. The 652 has actually come down. Well, it will come down because we're taking the 80,000 from the HCS. That's coming out of, I believe, contingencies. So that'll come out of there too. So that number won't be 709,000. It'll be somewhere probably closer to 600,000.
Okay, and so we're still,
And so we're looking at using ARPA funds to cover that 600,000 in a future meeting here.
all right, so 600,000. So it's down from 709 to
Right.
600,000.
That-
Is that true?
Roughly.
yes,
Roughly.
roughly, yeah.
And as they vet these round two in the yellow, I'm sure there's the potential for that even coming down even more. So any other questions on this? So what I'm asking from this committee today is to support the idea of bringing to the finance and to the board to spend the roughly 551,000 and some change to get those organizations who have not received any infrastructure grant money to get them on the agenda so they can start that process. So can I just show of hands on the consensus for that? Okay, Carrie, I can't see you, but I think your hand's probably up. Thank you, okay. All right, so staff, do you need anything else from
Yeah,
us?
so the other issue would be on July 9th. Mary Catherine and her team will be doing an ARPA update. That'll be where we kind of claw back the money, give you guys an update. At that point, if you guys are in concurrence, direct staff then to say, okay, you've got X amount of money left, move forward with round two, bring that to the proper thing. So give us that direction on July 9th. Right now, we're going through everything, pulling back, 10,000 here, 50,000 there, and we'll see where we get. The difference we've made up in contingency. So you can give us that direction then July 9th.
Thank you. And, ARPA funds, this is the perfect, thing for ARPA funds. So I'm glad it's an opportunity to use it. Yeah.
And I just wanted to say, all of my clarification questions, thank you for answering all my clarification questions. But the last I had heard 2 weeks ago in this committee meeting, we were still not gonna fund the round
Right,
one, so
right.
this is new information to me.
Yeah.
And so that's why I had to clarify what's going on, because
Understood.
I didn't know that this was a consideration now.
It came up in the last 2 weeks, so it's great news. So thank you. Any other old business? Any new business? Finally, I just want to thank staff and finance staff and everybody who has helped get this done. So thank you. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.